Welcome to Life Happens, where Texans come to protect their legacy and prepare for the second half of life. Join your host, attorney Kim Hegwood with Hegwood Law Group, and our weekly guest as we navigate the challenges that emerge as life happens. Now here's your host, Kim Hegwood.
Good morning and welcome to Life Happens with me, Kim Hegwood, and our very special guest today is Katelyn Blankenburg, and she's with Texas Music Therapy Services. Good morning.
Good morning. So glad to be here.
And so we're very happy to have you. And so we're going to kind of dig right in. When you hear music therapy, it kind of, there's lots of things it could be, but exactly what is it in regards and how does it help dementia patients?
So music therapy is, in its most simplest form, using music to reach non-musical goals. So for dementia, that can look like a lot of different things. That can look like reality orientation or helping us to maybe remember some things, depending on how far along we are. It can also look like bonding with our caregivers and our loved ones as our memory goes away. Music can help to bring up some things that will help you remember where you are, who you're with, some of those memories. And it's really, really powerful. Music therapy is different for every single person. It's completely individualized, just like any other therapy would be. And we use live music. So we're not just going in there and pressing play on a speaker. We're bringing our guitar, we're bringing a piano, we're bringing instruments so that it is a true experience in the body and not just, putting on an iPod, putting it on shuffle, turning on Apple Music, whatever.
So what kind of music is used? Because I'm thinking some of my fun memories are going to be classic rock, so I'm not sure how much y'all play. And so with a lot of different things. So how do you determine what kind of music is used for each session?
So we start by asking, what kind of music do you like? And that's so funny. My example usually is if someone likes Metallica, we're playing Metallica. So we play whatever is going to be best for the client. Most people stop listening to completely new music by the time they're 35. So I know, very interesting. You'll still hear the radio, but it's not really your preferred always. So we grab music from when you're in your late teens to mid 20s. That's really when you're going to be listening to music the most. When you're in high school, that's where a lot of those memories, when you're in college or just starting out on your own, those are going to, and then also songs from when you're a child that your parents and your loved ones sang to you. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be connected to you the most. And usually we pull from, we do the math of, okay, how old are you now? How old were you then? Look at the top charts. And if there's no other way to get information, we kind of guess just based on, Billboard charts and what was popular at the time.
Okay, so I need to make a list for you of everybody I listen to, because I'm sitting here thinking about my classic rock. What I listen to: Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Bruce Springsteen, all those. So I'll make a list. So what makes music therapy different from just listening to our favorite music? Why does it? I noticed you said you needed to bring, live instruments, and so rather than just turn on an iPod. So what makes it different?
So when you're making music with someone, there's a connection, obviously, right? If you've ever been to a concert, you can feel the difference in the environment from sitting alone or in your car and listening to being with another person. So that's one of the big differences. Another big difference is we can adapt the music in the moment to whatever the person is needing. So sometimes with dementia, and when we get towards the later stages, overstimulation can be a really big battle. So, if we're feeling overstimulated, we're going to be angry, we're going to be combative, we're going to be non-compliant and just really having a hard time. And so if you're playing music from the speaker that has drums and synth and guitar and vocals and backup vocals and all this other stuff going on, it's not going to help to calm you down necessarily, because it's too much for the brain to handle. Whereas if we're doing it live, we can start by rocking, and if we see any sort of sign in the body that, hey, we need to back off, we'll back off, strip it back. Or if, hey, we're kind of sleepy, but we need to get up because we have an appointment, well, let's do a faster song. Maybe we started with like something very slow. Maybe we're taking it easy, we're rocking some Eagles. And then, well, maybe we need to get up and go. So maybe we're doing some Journey or Queen, and we're going to get up and get moving so that our body is going to react automatically to that music change, so that we're able to get moving and get going and make those transitions easier.
So I'm taking it that there's more than one of you at a time. Is that correct? Is there a group of you doing this?
No, it's usually just one. We can do co-treatments, but generally it's just one music therapist in the room at a time. But we're really good at rigging things to our advantage. So if we're playing the guitar, we sometimes will give the client or patient or caregiver an instrument. So we'll bring tambourines, we'll bring drums, we'll bring shakers, to make it as much of an experience as possible. Because we want to provide quality music, because that's what's motivating.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking, man, a whole group of y'all traveling together for this would be a little bit more problematic. And so, is music therapy the same as what they did in Alive Inside?
It is not. So if you've seen Alive Inside, that is where they are picking some music and putting it on headphones, and they're listening, and you see this great change in these people. And that's because music inherently is therapeutic, right? That's why we listen to it. That's why we've been listening to it our entire life. But the piece that is key is that a music therapist is not present, and we're not able to change the music. Because while we see in that film that there's all these great changes happening, these people are orienting to reality, they're reminiscing and remembering these lyrics, they're not also showing you the side of, when you do that, of getting combative and getting annoyed. Like, why are you making me listen to this? I don't want to listen to this. All that stuff that goes into that experience. And there's no connection when you're just putting on headphones and letting someone sit and listen to music. Of course it's enjoyable. Of course it's great, but it's not music therapy.
So what kind of qualifications, besides being able to play an instrument, does a music therapist have?
Great question. So a music therapist has a bachelor's degree or higher in music therapy and has completed a 6-month internship, as well as a board certification exam. And we participate in continuing education. So we have to have 100 credits of education every 5 years for a recertification.
So just so we can kind of get a feel for how things, work, can you give our listeners some examples of what kinds of things you've seen in therapy sessions?
Of course. So I have worked in a lot of different settings. I've worked from early childhood all the way up through end of life care, with a lot of stops along the way in disabilities and in the school system, mental health, trauma, lots of different things. So some of my favorite memories from sessions is when I was working in neuro-rehab with people who had survived strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Music is extremely good for someone who has had a stroke. The way music works in the brain helps to heal some of those neurons that have, are not working anymore after a stroke. So one of my favorite memories is one of our patients was not really wanting to walk. He was feeling very lethargic that day. He was kind of the leave me alone, I don't want anybody in my room kind of day. And his wife was visiting. And I was like, okay, well, how about you just listen? Let's just listen. We'll just hang out. I'll play some music. We'll just hang out together. And he was like, okay, fine. And so I randomly picked Hey Jude. And immediately this man stands up out of bed and starts dancing with his wife around the room. And it turns out that that was their wedding song.
Oh, wow.
And so they danced for the entire song. And that song is long. You know, all the na-na-na-nas, you can go on for 10 minutes. And the whole time, and it was so beautiful to see him be motivated to not only get out of bed, but to move, and the bonding moment it created with his wife. You know, of course, she's in tears. The whole staff is in tears because finally they had this moment where they were able to connect again after this traumatic event where they hadn't been able to before. And it was really, really something.
Yeah, that is a good one right there. And so it's very much heartwarming to do something and know that what you're doing makes a huge difference. And so
yeah, it's really great. I mean, I have tons of stories. Music just, you know, reaches deeper than just your physical body, which is what makes it so powerful.
Great. Okay, so how does someone find you? So they want to do some music therapy. How do they find you?
So you can find me on my website, which is texasmusictherapyservices.com. You can also email me, which is Katelyn@texasmusictherapyservices.com. Or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Texas Music Therapy Services. It's all the same. It's all the same for ease of finding me.
Yeah. And your telephone number?
Yes, my number is 832-331-7409.
Perfect. And so, well, Katelyn, this has been a pleasure having you on the show today. And I look forward to doing this again and getting some more good information for our listeners. And so take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Life Happens with Kim Hegwood. Be sure to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. wherever you listen to your podcast as we navigate through the challenges that emerge as life happens. The content of this podcast does not establish an attorney-client relationship or constitute attorney-client privilege, legal, medical, financial, or any other professional advice.